through the jargon and helps you understand your options clearly. He's committed to finding the right coverage that fits your unique needs and budget. Their team has been a trusted partner in the community since 1973. Ready to make insurance easy? Get with Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. He's ready to help you get the protection you deserve.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on wgnssports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is just before 9 o'clock. It is a mid-August Saturday morning, and that means it's the start of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner for what is the 32nd season. Glad you're along with us. Brian Barrett joined a bit later on. Actually, John Dinkins is going to have your first leg of the coaches show today. I'll come back in for the middle interviews for you this morning, and then Danny Brewer will wrap us up. We'll tell you about the entire schedule and kind of get everybody back in the flow of things and how we'll be moving along here. But high school football season is here. Last night and this past week, jamborees, inter squads, whatever kinds of practices they could get going before game one of the regular season, and that is coming up next Friday night. We'll look at the schedule of games that are out there as well. But first of all, let me share with you our interview schedule. And this is unchanged from years before. So if you're a has-been joining us, well, that didn't sound good, did it? If you've been here with us before, then you'll know what we're all about here. But Riverdale will be first up at 9 o'clock. Smyrna at 9:15. Blackman at 9:30. Laverne at 9:45. John will have the first three interviews, and then I'll kick things off with the new Laverne head coach, Chris Johnson. Oakland at 10 o'clock, 10:15 Stewart's Creek, and new Rockville coach at 10:30. Siegel 10:45, Eagleville at 11, and MTCS Cougar Corner coming your way at 11:15. So that's what we will have for you. Coming up here on the Coaches Show this morning and each and every week, the lineup doesn't change. And for those who are saying, well, why is that in this order and this order? Well, it's because it started out with Riverdale, then Smyrna, then Laverne, then Oakland, and that was your show for the longest. And it has grown since, and just plugged in coaches here and there, and that's how we come up with the schedule. And if it works, don't mess with it, right? So that's kind of our thinking with that. So with that being said, next week is a big week of high school football, and we'll be talking about the upcoming games. Our game on WGNS and Big G TV next Friday night will be Oakland hosting CPA. Blackman will take on Clarksville, and Riverdale will be at home as well versus Knoxville Catholic. Rockvale at home versus Independence. Siegel goes to Cookeville. Smyrna goes to Brentwood. Stewart's Creek will host Centennial. Laverne will host Franklin. In fact, Laverne has 7 home games this year, if you can believe that. 7 home games at Laverne. That also means 7 road games next year, but 1 year at a time, right? MTCS will host Ezel Harding, and Eagleville versus Providence Christian Academy. So that is the schedule of games in week 1. New regions for the 6A schools, I guess really for everybody. So really a lot to discuss this morning. We're going to kick it off here in just moments. John Dinkins with Riverdale, Smyrna, and Blackman here for the next 45 minutes as you listen and watch the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner on WGNS WGNS and Big G TV.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly mile after mile. Visit our website, SmyrnaAutoRepair.com.
For 27 years, Kenneth Barrett has proudly served the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and now asks for your vote for sheriff. He started at age 20 as a detention officer, working his way up through patrol, narcotics, and interstate crime operations. He's led specialized teams while keeping transparency and fairness at the forefront. Kenneth Barrett for sheriff means proven leadership you can trust to keep our community safe.
I'm Kenneth Barrett, running for Rutherford County Sheriff, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer.
Parks Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks has a team of experienced auctioneers and realtors who make selling your property simple. Whether you're selling your home, farm, or have an estate to settle, auctions are easy, fast, and profitable. You don't have to worry about the hassle of updates, repairs, or showings, and you'll receive multiple offers on auction day.
Parks Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Hold it to you, 27.5.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name. There's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And the Coaches Show is brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more online at rayburn.net. Joining me on the show, it's the inaugural show for this year, is Coach Will Kreisky of the Riverdale Warriors. And Coach, a lot of big changes. Before we talk really football, I'm going to let you be the spokesperson, but there are a lot of changes at Riverdale, not only with football, but the whole building, the whole school.
Yeah, there has been a lot of changes going on and a lot of different things, and Riverdale looks totally different. I was telling somebody the other day, it was pretty special. I've been at Riverdale since 2009, and just to see the first day of school when the kids came in and was actually able to walk through the building and see it, just to see their excitement in their faces. Kids are truly proud of our school and truly proud of everything we've been able to get at our school, and they take pride in it, and it's been special. It's been a really special week to just witness all that, just the excitement, not only from the kids, but the teachers, staff, the administration, and everybody's taking pride. If you've been at Riverdale for a while, this is pretty special.
Yeah, I know it's beautiful. I don't know if they're totally finished, but they're finished enough to get the kids in there, right?
I mean, you know, Ms. Blair's doing a good job making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and getting it finished on time, and having, you know, we got a nice little ceremony coming up tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, open cutting a ribbon and open house, and you know, they're making it a huge deal, and it's been really special, and just watching everybody get everything ready and working together and just on the same page and trying to make Riverdale one of the top schools around, and it's been really neat, and it's been a good experience, and the Riverdale community's got something special going, and it's moving in the right direction, and it's really a blessing to be able to be a part of it.
Probably need a golf cart to get around, don't you? I mean, it's a lot more square footage, I think.
Yeah. Luckily, you know, it's all inside now.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to go outside, but they do have golf carts, you know, due to the last few years of construction and stuff.
Yeah.
So they do have a few of those.
Exactly. Let's talk about the football field. Jumbotron, turf. you guys are, right among the some of the best facilities now too.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I was bragging. Coach Messer and Coach Bingham have always done a really good job improving their facilities and keeping it up to date, and that's always inspired me. I've noticed, for the last 10 years, they always got some project going in the off season, and I kind of followed their lead, and always tried to work hard to do something every year to try to help improve our program, improve our facilities, and give our players a better experience. And I think it's, I think we're able now to create a good environment. I'm proud of what we've been able to build there at Riverdale. I'm fortunate, going in year 10. It's crazy that it's already year 10, but it's here, and I think we've had a good run so far, and I think the program facilities have improved. I think everything around Riverdale the last 10 years have taken the trend upward.
Well, if you take pride in the field and those kind of things, I think the kids take pride in it too. I mean, they get into that. They like that a lot.
They do, and they enjoy it. And we have a nice facility. We're able to work out in locker rooms, and they enjoy being in there, and they hang out and get to just create that team feel in the field house.
Well, I didn't realize you had been there 10 years, 16 total, and 10 as the head coach. Is that right?
Yeah. I know, you're showing my age. I have. I've been there for a while, and I've enjoyed my experience, and it's a great place to be, and it's, a lot of times when you get at Riverdale, you don't leave. We got a lot of people there that's been there for a long time, and Coach Voss got there a year before. Got his head coaching job a year before I got the head coaching job. So me and him have been right beside each other and working together. And Coach Messer and, like I just mentioned, Coach Bingham, they've been there forever. Coach Field, Coach Armand, and that's what shows you that Riverdale's special, because you got that stability. We've had three different. I've had three different administrations since I've been the principal, but we've all stayed. All these athletic coaches have stayed, and because it's a great place, it's a great culture and a great community, and we really enjoy it. Sometimes we have too much fun at work. We all go and pick on each other, and Coach King and all them guys, they stir up stuff all the time. But it's fun. We have a good time and enjoy each other. We get a lot of work done, and kids enjoy it, and kids have fun, and that's just what it's about.
Yeah. With the 10 years, you've had a lot of success at Riverdale, and last year was a really, really, really good year. And you just keep defensively, I thought, was a real good year for you. The last couple of years have been good defensively, and bringing new kids in, which is kind of remarkable that you're able to keep that style of play with new kids coming in each and every year.
Yeah, Coach Real, I can't brag on him enough. What he does, he's the head coach of the defense, and he runs everything and does everything, sets everything, like everything. And I can't say enough about him and what he does and the valuable asset he is to our program. And he creates that physical style, that tough style, and our defense is always practicing hard and going at it, and what he does on the defensive side, and just the physical. What he gets out of them every play and every game is impressive, and I'm very fortunate.
Will Kreisky, our guest here. I do want to mention before we talk about some positions here, it's a little different year. We're going to play everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody is going to play each other, which I guess would make scheduling a little easier. That'd be about the only benefit, I think. But you've got a tough road ahead. Everybody does.
Yeah, the next 11 weeks are going to be tough. Going to be real tough, and we didn't schedule any easy non-district opponents either. But again, that's part of being in this area, in this region, is playing tough games week in and week out, and there's no light games on the schedule, and playing everybody now. One, scheduling was easier, and travel's a lot easier. I don't leave the county. We left the county twice in our preseason scrimmages, but we're not going to leave the county at all during the regular season, and that's saves a lot on travel. Now next year we'll have to go to Knox Catholic, Columbia, and Father Ryan, but they're not terrible trips.
No. Let's talk a little offense, and then we'll get to the defense. Have to replace players. Each and every year you got to replace some people. Tell us about the quarterback situation, and then at running back, and I know you pride yourself on offensive line. I mean, that's always been a big key for you. And tell us how it's gone so far.
Talk about the offensive line first. That's a lot of our returning starters. We have a lot of those guys coming back. We got King at center. Devontae Morris at right guard. We got Eli Clark at right tackle. We got LeBron Shelburne at left tackle, and we got Hayden Love at left guard. And all those guys have either played some or started last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're a group, and they're a close group. They're a close-knit group, and they work very well together, and they take pride. I think it's the biggest O-line that I've had since I've been a head coach.
You've got some youngsters coming up that look big to me. I know that too. And also, when you have an offensive line, I'm not saying it does help. I'm going to just say it just helps a lot. That they've been through the wars a little bit, and it makes everything flow. Seems to me like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And like I said, when those guys have been there and been a part of your program and know what's going on, they are your leaders.
Yeah.
We struggled a little bit Monday in practice, but those guys didn't. They had a great practice, and then everybody kind of started following their lead, and that's what you got to have. If those guys are your hardest workers, you got something special.
I made a point this year. I told Brian, I said, when we do games, I'm going to make sure every one of those offensive linemen get named. I think even radio people, we tend to overlook, the good block and that kind of thing,
Yeah, we do at times. We all do, and we kind of look at the other things, the runs or the special moves that the backs make. But, yeah, it all starts up front with the O-line and what they do.
Quarterback situation?
Gavin Hampton, he'll be a junior.
Mm-hmm.
He came to us from Ravenwood. He's been with us since January. His family moved over here. They actually moved right across from the school, and he's been with us, been working hard, figuring everything out. He's inexperienced, didn't have a lot of Friday night snaps, so we'll have to work through that. That is the negative on our offensive side, is we don't have any skill returners. None of our returning guys on offense are returning. Braylon Burns, a receiver, did play some last year, but did not start. So he is in the starting role at receiver this year. So he does have the most experience with that position, but those other guys are coming in. We had another kid, Corbin Reynolds, come in. He's adapted really well. He should have a good year for us. He's keep working hard with a good attitude. And running back, we have a young guy, Jacob Vaughn. He's getting some valuable reps, and Chris Peterson's behind him. He's getting some good reps too. So we got pieces. It's going to be the first few weeks. It's figuring everything out and figuring guys and positions and make sure we got everybody in the right spots. And and they got to grow. Some of these guys got to grow up fast.
Yeah.
Jacob Vaughn's a sophomore, but he's got to grow up fast. He can't play like a sophomore. He's got to play like a junior. And he's handled a lot of the situations this preseason well, and I've been impressed with him. And he runs well. He's a track guy. He's not as fast as DJ, but he's working on it.
Yeah.
And losing somebody like DJ, it's hard to replace, immediately.
Yeah.
But I think Jacob can be eventually as good as DJ.
As a coach, I guess you have to have a little bit of patience. I know coaches don't have a lot of patience, but I mean,
my wife wouldn't say I had any patience.
You have to look at it from, I guess, not to expect it to be perfection early, and I hope you live and learn through mistakes and that kind of thing, and still win some ball games. That's the key, I guess, if you can get through that phase of the schedule, really.
Yeah, you have to get through the phase and with the struggle and try to find wins. And these guys are working well together, that they're going to give it their all. We will have to grow from our mistakes and learn from our mistakes, but again, that's part of it. That's part of the game of football. That's part of any game. When you have inexperienced guys playing, they're going to make some good plays, they'll make some bad plays. And the key is we got to win the special teams game.
Yeah.
And we lost a key person on that special teams, Khalil Armand, but Miles Weaver's been working with us this offseason. He's got a strong leg, and Aiden Rivas has come in. We pulled him from the soccer team, and he's doing some good things. So we have some pieces there, but it'll all be new next Friday.
Yeah, really. Defensively, real quickly, I know that's, to me, a lot of people, I really think that's been the heart of y'all's success in the last few years, as we mentioned earlier. Who you got back on defense?
Aiden Edmonds.
Yeah.
He's back. He's leading the defense, and he's doing a great job leading the defense so far this offseason. And then, Caleb Woods, another guy on the defensive line front, and Anthony Gunn. He's been starting for us since a freshman until he broke his ankle. And Jaron Hollins, and,
some familiar names there.
Czar's been with us for a while, and then Hudson Fuqua, and so they all been playing playing really well, and Elijah Reams back there at safety too. So we got some pieces. We just got to get more snaps and keep learning to play together.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your Friday night yesterday, because it's going to be your last one for a while, of 11 or 12 or 13, maybe 14.
Yeah, it is, but it's fun.
Yeah. Will Kreisky has been our guest here, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, and we appreciate him coming in. I'll see you next week. This show's been brought to you by... This portion of the show brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I need one of those hats too, Coach. We'll be right back. Matt Williams is next.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
True Blue Raider fans don't settle for just any gear. They shop at Raider Tees, specializing in Middle Tennessee apparel and accessories. No distractions, just pure Blue Raider pride. From t-shirts and hoodies to decals, stadium chairs, and exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. We've got it all. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS, and gear up today. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs, from individual returns to corporations, and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. John Dinkins back with you, and we have our second guest of the day is Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. And Coach Will was telling me, Will Kreisky was telling me how long he'd been coaching. What year is this for you? I don't want to date you, but what year is this for you?
Well, overall, I think 28, and then as a head coach, I think 18. So,
well, did you get my message from your daughter?
I did. Yeah, she
I was trying to shame you, man. It didn't work.
Yeah, well, I can't. No, yeah, well, it probably did, John. I probably didn't react, but no, she, she enjoyed seeing you, and she gets on to me when I mention stuff like that. She's big time on the HIPAA laws, but no, she enjoyed that, and I appreciate you being so sweet to her. And
well, she's turned out to be a wonderful young lady. I can tell you that for sure. So
she is very proud, very blessed.
Doesn't matter how many wins, losses you got a win right there, hadn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's talk a little football. How about it? Things are looking really good at Smyrna in terms of aesthetically. A new Jumbotron, the turf is there, and the clubhouse. I mean, it's really a good time to be a Smyrna Bulldog.
It is. We're blessed. I mean, SRM obviously has blessed us, beyond our wildest imaginations, and had a lot of people that contributed to that. SRM's obviously the bell cow there, and Dow Smith Construction obviously has been very kind to us. We've had a lot of people that have been very generous in front of high school, and we're very appreciative, and they're very humbled by it. It's not something we're trying to flaunt or have an attitude about. That's for sure. We're very humbled by it, and thankful for everything everybody's done for our school. And we have a great community here, and I think it's one of the. I tell people, as many schools are in the county, I still feel like Smyrna's got a community feel to it, and that's obviously credit to Dr. Sutherland and the climate she's created here at Smyrna High School.
Let's talk some football. It's going to be a different year than in the past because we're all playing each other. I mean, it's locally owned and operated, actually. But and I was mentioning earlier that it probably helps scheduling a little bit, but it's a tough schedule.
Yeah, it is. And we were, I was actually happy that happened. We were in that other region, I think, probably, roughly 8 years or something like that. And, I think we did struggle a lot of times in terms of gate money and things of that nature. And, a lot of those years, Cane Ridge was really good. But, other than that, I felt like, our region schedule sometimes didn't fully prepare us for what we were going to see in the playoffs. And obviously don't have that problem now. You go into the Murfreesboro region with, obviously you got Oakland there who's a perennial power, and you got a lot of other good teams. Obviously, every other team is good as well. So, we'll have our work cut out for us. And, our non-region schedule is not very forgiving. And, when it was time to schedule, it was sort of odd. We were coming off of a very disappointing 5-6 campaign, but you'd have thought we were undefeated the way, scheduling went. But we're excited about it. We look forward to the challenge. And, our non-region schedule, we know, will hopefully help us get ready for our region contest.
The season starts for you. Who do you have first?
We're at Brentwood.
Well, you picked a really good non-district schedule there. That's a tough team.
That's not the first time I've heard somebody say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it does get you prepared. I mean, it's a good one to start off with. Actually, I know you'd rather do that.
Yeah, I think our kids are excited. We went up there in the playoffs first round and got beat. I thought we were really competitive. I think halftime score was 14-13, something like that. And second half, they sort of leaned on us, and the levee sort of broke on us in the second half. But I think our kids are excited about having a chance to right that and to have some redemption there. And you want to play good teams, and Brentwood's obviously going to be extremely well coached, and their kids are going to be extremely disciplined in what they do, and they're going to do it exactly like their coach to do it, and that's something we're going to have to do a good job trying to counter.
Well, defense is the name of the game. I know you stress that tremendously. And who do you have returning on defense, and how do you feel about it so far?
We've done some good, done some bad. I mean, I thought last night I was really pleased with how we played defensively. I thought last week against Beach, I thought we were a little porous in the run game, and and we got to do a better job of stopping that. But we also had some scheme breakdowns that I think we got fixed. But you got Jerry Martin coming back at D-line. He's obviously a special player that will end up. He's basically a 4-year starter. He started a lot as a freshman, so glad to have him back. And he's a kid that's extremely hard to block, and I think poses a problem for other opposing offenses. And Anthony Staples is also another kid that returns up front for us on the D-line, a junior that is really grown and is going to do some great things, I feel like, on the D-line. And Dalen Sanders, another junior linebacker that played a lot for us last year and got some, secondary experience coming back. Corey Weathers played a lot of corner for us. Amari Hill's coming off an injury. He got hurt in the spring scrimmage, but he's been, cleared, and he'll be back at corner. And Yanni Morales is playing some corner for us. He played some there last year. And Ryland German, another safety we've got that played a lot. So we've got some secondary experience there and that we're excited about. And got some kids that played a lot on Friday nights last year on defense. You've got way more experience there than we do on offense.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. It looks like you experience-wise, you're in very good shape. Well, tell us a little bit about the offense, because I know maybe some decisions to be made there still in the running here.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good quarterback battle. The A.J. Jackson, Gianni Allen, and Zeke Key, all three trying to vie for that spot. Gianni's a senior, the other two are juniors. But right now, as it stands, A.J. sort of won that spot. And, obviously, though, that competition can continue week to week. And, Johnny's done a lot of good things in scrimmages. He threw a touchdown pass last week against Beach on a go ball that I thought was really well thrown. He's a great leader and a kid you definitely want on your football team. Johnny's a special young man and just a good character kid that is a natural leader. And, we got Zackees McCarver coming back, a receiver who poses a threat. He's an athletic kid. Johnny Morales also the same thing, athletic on the perimeter. R.J. Williams is a kid we had that played some running back for us last year that will play both that and receiver that is athletic and can run really well. So we've got some experience there. Running back, Christian Beatty was a kid we had as a freshman who played here and then had to move and played for Maplewood last year, but we've got him back. So he should help us at the tailback spot. And up front, we only got one kid who played last year on Friday nights up front offensive line, but we feel like we've got a group that's getting better day by day up there. And, got some kids. Will McKnight's the kid that came back. He played guard for us last year, and he'll play center this year. But got some other kids that are trying to vie for spots up there that I think are getting better day by day.
I always think it's a shame, Matt, but we can never have everybody coming back at every position. I mean, that offensive line, though, can mature pretty fast, can't they?
Yeah, I think so. And, we're trying to play those guys mainly one way. I'm excited about John Richardson's a kid we got at left tackle who's extremely, extremely athletic and gives us athletic presence up there on the offensive line. And Sam Reeble's a kid who's played, he's worked really hard throughout his time here and played a lot of JV for us, and he's getting a chance to start. And, of course, I said Will McKnight's returning. And then Alex Mung is a kid who's the same way. He's never played on Friday night. He's playing some right guard. And we got a kid, DeQuan Stewart, who we had a zone line change, and we got a few of those kids, which I thought we should have always had that Seven Oaks subdivision down by the interstate. I thought that was ridiculous. They zoned up Stewart's Creek, but I won't go off on a tangent on that. But we've gotten a few of those kids back, and DeQuan Stewart's a big sophomore who's starting for us at right tackle right now. I think it's going to be really good for us.
We're talking to Matt Williams, head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs, and I think there's got to be a lot of excitement with all the teams that you're going to be playing. Smyrna High School ought to be rocking on Friday nights.
Yeah, it should be. We hope so. With Purple Dynasty's, showing out, and we hope to have a good game day atmosphere. We know last year was not to our expectations at Smyrna High School, and I think our kids are really have taken it upon themselves to change that and get back to where we need to be. And we're a program I've always expected us to make deep playoff runs, and it's been a while since we've done that. So we've got to get that righted, and I think we've got a group that's hard workers. We've got a group in here right now watching film, and off the line will be in tomorrow watching film. And so we got a group that's been coachable and wants to work hard. And I think we'll see them grow and get better on Friday nights. It's just going to take Friday night experience. And it's hard to mimic Friday night experience under the lights. You can play all the jamborees and game-like scrimmages you want to. It's not the same.
Yeah, and when you look at, I guess you're trying to improve your depth a little bit too, right? I mean, this is the time of year you really take a close look. Of course, we're going to start next week, but you've kind of taken a look at some of those that could see some considerable action.
Yeah, you do. You try to shuffle the deck as much as you can and see what recipe is going to fit and which one's going to work. But that's the area we're not great as far as depth right now, and especially up front on both sides of the ball. We've got to find kids who can help us, and so we've done that to this point. I think we've found some kids, but there's still room. You know how it goes. Your first couple weeks in the season, there can be a lot of growth as well, and. You always say the most growth usually is after that first ball game. That's generally because people get out there and they knock the rust off and also get a lot of the butterflies and mistakes out of the way and sort of settle in. So hopefully we can do that a little earlier than that and be ready to go next week. I didn't think last night I thought we did some really good things defensively. I thought we were completely discombobulated on offense. We moved the ball, but penalties absolutely killed us. So we've got to be more disciplined in that respect. And do a better job, maintaining drives and being able to put the ball in the end zone.
Well, Matt, I can't tell you how good it is to talk to you. It seems like it's been 3 years since I've talked to you, but it's going to be a great season, and looking forward to getting out there. I think we're going to be out there a couple of games this year, so always pleasure to come out there to Smyrna.
Absolutely, John. I always enjoy to talk with you, and I've enjoyed our talks over the years, and I thank WGNS for all they do for high school athletics.
28 years, buddy.
It goes by fast.
You've been here as long as I have. That's Matt Williams, the head coach of the Smyrna Bulldogs. Good luck to him against Brentwood next week. This portion of the show has been brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. When we come back, it's Blackman and Matt Kreisky.
Need to send out professional mailings without the hassle? Franklin's Printworks makes it easy with print-to-mail service.
That is directly in our wheelhouse. We have our own in-house mail department, so we can design something, print it, and send it out under our bulk mail edition. Save you a lot on postage, and you don't even have to touch it.
Jeff Carlton at Franklin's Printworks says from postcards and newsletters to invoices, bulk mailings, design, printing, and direct mail, they handle it all.
It's a pretty quick turnaround and very cost-efficient.
Your message delivered with Franklin's Printworks.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brentz, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking. 212 Warrior Drive.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Wommel. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at craigstaxservice.com. Boy, time is just flying by here, Dalton. We're here with Matt Kreisky, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze. I'm really excited about this football season, Coach. I don't know if you are, but we're all home. I mean, we're just kind of like playing a lot of each other now.
Well, I'm just going to let you know I'm not going to come back until you get those two guys from the front door gone.
They're harassing you.
Yes, they are.
Let's see. One's Walker and one's Kreisky.
That is. You got to get them.
I didn't know that. We'll try to get police down here or something, I
appreciate that.
Yeah, security guard. Matt, I'm really excited about the Blackman Blaze. I know you are. We're going to talk a little bit about both of the things, offense and defense. I did mention you've also had changes at Jumbotron. Things looking up. They got the turf. Things are looking really nice out there, and you've got great facilities anyway. So I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, we were. We spent all off season, meeting with Mr. Smith, Mr. Lawless, about getting Jumbotron. We finally got it going, and so it should be up here this week, and everything should be going by the following week 2 when we play Cane Ridge, and it's a good thing, and so we're glad to do that. You're always as a head coach in the off season looking at ways you can upgrade your facilities to help improve it and to attract it, and it's one of the things that we really sat down and talked about this off season, and so it was great to see when I met with Mr. Lawless and Mr. Smith and their buy-in, and they were really supportive, and when I brought to the attention something that I really wanted to do, and so then we met with some community members, and and they were excited about it, and so now once we get it up going, it's going to be great, and then you got to look at the next thing we got to do.
Yeah. So, how long does it take to put a jumbotron up? I mean,
well, we got it ordered, I think, around March. And
wow.
So everything came in over the dead period, and so we just been with our company that we're using, just been waiting for them to have time to put it up. So we use the same company that Smyrna used.
Yeah.
And so they've been really busy, and so they've been out there all this past week, and I believe they're out there today working.
Awesome. And just in time for the start of the season, let's talk about Blackman. I thought you made great strides last year. Now, you might disagree with me, but I really thought overall the product you were putting out there on the field, they seem to be buying in to your program a little bit more, and each and every year. Now they're kind of to the point where they're yours. I mean, there's I guess not very many left over from the earlier one.
No, this junior class has been with us since we got there, and the seniors have been there with us since they're sophomores, and so you can see it. I will say, one thing that the past 2 years, you have bragged on our, how disciplined and how we've been. The past 2 scrimmages, one thing that I've been really disappointed is we've had 5 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and that's something that I don't think Blackman's accustomed to. Something that I do not like, and so I feel like if we can get those unnecessary penalties out of the way, that we could be a really good football team. But until we figure out that things like that, instead of us being selfish, and get those penalties out of the way, that does not help us move forward. Like last night, we're scrimmaging Brentwood. Brentwood's always a really good team. We had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties that really hurt our offensive drive, and so that's to tell the kids that's the difference in the ball game. Right there. You playing a team like Brentwood, you cannot make mistakes like that hurts drives. So if we can get that out of us and realize the potential we have as a football team, it'll really help out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about changes or anything. I know you always lose from graduation. You lose some good players. Who you've got coming back and you feel good about? Let's start with the defense.
We got our defensive line. Starting out with James Stewart, Tremel Johnson. Tremel's a senior.
He's a good one.
Yes, 3-year starter for us. James is a junior, 2-year starter for us. So they're really going to help us out on the defensive front. Isaac Levy's another one. He's a senior. He's played the past 2 years for us. So we're expecting big things out of our defensive front. Linebackers, we lost three great linebackers. One went to Lindsey Wilson, the other went to Harvard, and the third one went to Mount St. Joseph's. So we lost 3 linebackers that are playing at the next level. So that's a huge hole that we got to fill. But we got guys that are replacing them that I expect going to do great things for us this year. And then in the secondary, we lost Trey McGaffey, who was huge, Jalen Anderson, but we got some younger guys that are really stepping up and filling those shoes. So we feel really good about our defense, where we're at right now. We just got to keep improving and getting better each day.
Offensively, I always say offensive line so important. Who you got coming back?
We got Kennedy Jackson, 3 years, 3-year starter for us. He started ever since we've been there, so we're really counting on him. Nehemiah Blackwell, another offensive lineman that has started the past 2 years for us. So those guys are really leading the way. Terry Baskin moved in from Indiana last year. He started midway through the season last year, and he's going to start this year for us. So those 3 guys we're really counting on, really expecting us to lead that group. We have two sophomores that are going to be playing, and so we expect them to lead them and get them going and making sure they're doing the right things.
Well, it's good to have a little depth there.
It is.
I mean, it seems like that's what you have a little bit.
Yeah, and so that's exciting. Receivers, I think this is the most depth we've ever had the receiving core. We've got about 6 to 9 guys that can go in and play. Quarterback, we got three outstanding quarterbacks. We got, and I understand only one can play at a time, but all three of them you can put in the game, and we'd feel really good about them. And the running back, we got Jabari Kemp and Micah Nance, who we're really counting on to do some special things for us.
Yeah, Jabari had a pretty good year last year, didn't he?
He ran for close to 700 yards last year.
Yeah.
So.
I get you've had your 8th grade freshman teams have all been pretty solid, if not really great, over the last 2 or 3 years, and you're expecting those guys to come in and make an impact, I would think.
Yes, from them coming from the youth league to Coach Hillis over the middle school, they do a really great job moving them up, and we've had 2 great freshman classes, so we're expecting some big things. We're expecting a lot of sophomores to play this year for us.
Yeah. Boy, it sure seems like depth is so critical, particularly with the schedule.
I think just the pure energy and the
open up with.
We go to Clarksville next week.
And then. You got a lot of local talent, but I just think that helps everything. I mean, I think people showing up for football games on Friday night, if you're playing games in the past. So I know you're looking forward to that, and you like to play tough opponents. I don't think you're one of those that would like an easy one. But
no, it does good. And last year, the past 2 years we've had a really tough schedule, and so this year with us going all Rutherford County region, it's going to be tough week in and week out for us.
Last year, I know you had leads in games, and you lost a couple of games where you had the lead. And what's the process of maybe how do you clear that up? I mean,
something we talked about all offseason. Those leads that we've had, and especially when those region games last year, we led the entire game until probably the last. A minute and 45 seconds left in the game, so that's something that you harp on all off season. Hope the kids realize moving forward that the details, the small mistakes really matter. It can change the outcome of a game.
No penalties. Try to stay away from them. Sir. Yeah, it's been a really good ride so far for you. I know the thing I think you can see is there's been improvement each and every year that you've been there, and now I think you're at the point where let's put up and
that's been the biggest question mark, and I hear from people from the outside is winning that big game. We've been close the past 2 years. We just haven't made that next step, and that's something we have to do this year, and that's something that if we can correct those unnecessary penalties, I think that we have a chance to do.
Do you think too, Coach, if you pick up one of those, win one of those games, that goes a long way for their confidence the rest of the year? If you could get one early, particularly maybe you're behind in the game and you come back.
It does, that all that matters. You look, the Ravenwood, Brentwood, Oakland, those 3 games, stick out. We had an opportunity to win those games last year, and then if we just finish, it could be a totally different outcome of the season. The kids could have the confidence level be a lot different. But that's something as me as a head coach said that I've got to get fixed.
Some freaky stuff. I mean, it was some freaky stuff, but we're rooting for you here at WGNS, and everybody. We just want everybody to have good years, and that means everybody's got to knock each other off, I guess. But it's going to be a great year, and good luck the rest of the way. And I'll see you in about 2 weeks, I guess.
Thank you.
You'll have an update by then.
Yes, sir.
And I'll work on the security down there.
Please get them taken care of for me.
And he's got a new cap too. Have you noticed he's wearing a new cap?
Yes.
He's got bling.
Yeah.
That's Matt Kreisky, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze. Good luck to him against Clarksville next week. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. I guess Brian Barrett's next. He'll be taking over.
Hey, it's Brian. I want to tell you about my bank, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. In a world that's changing, replacing local with global, personal contact with a screen, and human expertise with AI, I'm happy that First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is here in Murfreesboro with real experts that will show up to get the job done. 2 locations on Gateway and Memorial Boulevards.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Genesee Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
Back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Well, it is our pleasure for the first time on the program to welcome in Laverne High School football coach Chris Johnson to the program. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Glad to have you here. This is our first time to talk to you formally here on the Coaches Show, and boy, has it been a whirlwind since last spring?
Yeah, well, actually, I think I
started
almost probably in December officially. Yeah.
A lot has happened. I'm sure a lot of blood, sweat, tears, kind of just go over the emotions of now all of that work from December to now, and it's football season.
Yeah, I mean, we came in, obviously, the last season wasn't as the school and the team had planned. And you come in and, a new coach, new coaching staff, and new ideas. And so one of the main things we had to do was try to shift the mindset and mentality and culture of the locker room and, and the kids that were here. And I think that challenge that we put on the coaching staff and the team.
Back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Well, it is our pleasure for the first time on the program to welcome in Laverne High School football coach Chris Johnson to the program. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Glad to have you here. This is our first time to talk to you formally here on the Coaches Show, and boy, has it been a whirlwind since last spring?
Yeah, well, actually, I think I started
almost
probably in December officially. Yeah.
A lot has happened. I'm sure a lot of blood, sweat, tears, kind of just go over the emotions of now all of that work from December to now, and it's football season.
Yeah, I mean, we came in, obviously, the last season wasn't as the school and the team had planned. And you come in and, a new coach, new coaching staff, and new ideas. And so one of the main things we had to do was try to shift the mindset and mentality and culture of the locker room and, and the kids that were here. And I think that challenge that we put on the coaching staff and the team, everyone has responded well. And so we're excited about where we're at.
Talk to me a little bit about well, first of all, I've got to ask you this question because that's funny. I think I've had two people say, are we talking about the former Tennessee Titan? And I said, well, think Blue Raiders, right? With your history.
Well, I'm older than him, so I'm the original Chris Johnson.
There you go.
I am. I came here in 1999 to play football at MTSU. We were that first D1 class. I was with Coach Andy McCullum. We were ranked 117 out of 117. Now, the irony in that is we came into this season with Laverne 0-10. And so there's some parallels there to where I started in college and then taking on this task. We're used to being the underdog, used to being, ranked last. Nobody sees us coming. And so I draw those parallels, and we've learned some valuable lessons there.
Well, let's kind of continue along that line here just a little bit, because 1998 at MTSU, and then new conference, new alignment, new division. You've got a lot of those things happening here with Laverne jumping in with everybody else here in Rutherford County, which has been known as maybe the toughest region in the state of Tennessee in 6A football, and it just got tougher.
100%. Since I've been here in the Murfreesboro area, I've seen firsthand how Rutherford County has been almost like the leading conference or region in the state. My son actually played at Riverdale, so I was able to see that firsthand. And so there are some great parallels of us coming in, going into the new region. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want it any other way. I think that if we are going to be a Rutherford County school, which we are, I think we have to live up to the standard. So I really appreciate us in our first year coming into the region so that we can establish a new standard. So like I said, we've done this before. My first year at MTSU, we went 3-8. That second year, we went 6-5. And then that third year, we went 8-4 and won the Sun Belt Championship. So I think these are some great times that we can share some of those valuable lessons with the kids that we coach now. Several of those guys are coaching on the staff, so we have that experience of doing it from scratch.
Well, as we continue to look at the season and the conference, you mentioned something there about the region being what it is. I mean, you've got to be somewhere. An interesting statistic going back through the history of Rutherford County high school football, Chris, we've had a team in at least the Final Four or semifinals 30 out of the last 31 years, and 16 state titles, 15 if you go in the modern era. You count Central High School then in 1970, it's 16 state titles. It's a pretty good record, I would think, isn't it, for a county?
Oh, phenomenal record. I mean, and, it shows when you go to the games, when you watch these teams play, nothing but respect for Coach Creasy over at Oakland. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Coach Kreisky over at Riverdale has been a huge help to me as a first-year head coach. Coach Kreisky has been nothing but kind and helpful and giving me some pointers and things of that nature. And you just see those teams who have had the success and leading the way in our region, and even the rich history that Blackman has had, even in the short time. I was here when Blackman was first built. So I remember, the Jawan Jennings and some of those guys coming up. And so we understand fully the rich history and tradition of winning that we see in Rutherford County. And we only hope to, one day ink our name in some of that tradition, or at least let everybody know that Laverne can be one of those teams. And so that's our goal.
I'm looking at your background, locker rooms. I know you've added a lot of stuff there. There's talk of turf, all this kind of thing. You're doing some things to, I guess, some of those things are going to change culture. And is that some of what you've felt like you needed to do coming in here?
Yeah, I really believe that, whether it's players who want to come from the middle school and play at the high school, whether it's players who are trying to decide if they're moving in from out of the state or where, I think that we have to make our school attractive. And so it's actually a business concept, the law of attraction. And so we wanted to do some things where, kids want to come play here, coaches want to come coach here. And so, this generation is really visual. This is a show generation, I suppose. I came from the old school. We could just throw a polo over some shoulder pads and go out in the backyard and play football. Not so much with this generation. And so We wanted to do some things. We remodeled the weight room, put a brand new sound system in, and you can see the TVs hanging behind us, and did some different things with our weight room and some of our facilities that our fans are going to be pleased about on the first game. Some equipment that we were able to purchase, and some things to kind of beautify our campus a little bit, but then also some things we've been able to do for the players, such as new uniforms and some of the things that I can't really release right now, but some things that we've done to make the kids excited. And so we've been excited about that.
We are talking with Chris Johnson, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. I know you've heard it before, but hearing it on the air, that's a pretty good ring to it, I'd say, huh?
It's a very good ring. I'm still getting used to it, still getting used to coach. So I'm excited about it.
I want to ask you about your kids and things in just a minute, but I did want to look at your non-conference schedule because you've got Franklin in the first 2 weeks. You've got Franklin and then Dixon County, and those are some home games before you've got Rockvale. But it's not an easy schedule you've put together here.
Yeah, we were when we came in. I know, of course, some of those games were already scheduled when I took over, and so we were just kind of saying, we can't run from it. We can't run from competition. So our guys have to accept the challenge and go up and play whoever comes in, and we put the ball down. One of the things I've been really surprised to hear has been, we don't have the greatest facilities, or we don't have what other schools have. And, maybe our weight room doesn't look the same. Maybe our field doesn't look the same. But, again, this is me being old school. Last I checked, I think the games are won on the field. So we always preach to our guys, a weight is 45 pounds, whether it's shiny or rusty. So it's going to weigh the same. So we get the work in, we go out there and put it on the field and work hard to stay together as a team, and the chips will fall where they may.
I see that. I think your only other non-region game is Kirkwood. Would it be right? 3? I think that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, Franklin, Dixon, and Kirkwood.
Yeah, and so honestly, you don't have to travel outside of Rutherford County, because I think all of your non-conference games are at home, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got 7 home games. And it, like I said, it was just, a couple of those games were already on the schedule. So we really didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room. And as soon as I took over, those games that were already there, the new region dropped. So we were really kind of locked in. And so it was kind of like, okay, here's the schedule. We know what it is, and we know what work we have to put in, and we'll go out there and play.
That means next year you've got 7 road games too, though, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's always payback somewhere along the line, something like that. Talk to me about your team. I know that you probably have had all kinds of one-on-one sit-down conversations with some of your guys, and who do you think are going to be your team leaders this year to try to take Laverne into this new era?
Yeah, I would talk offensively first. We have several guys, I believe, that are going to step up and make an impact. But, hands down, one of our leaders on the team is Drayden DeMoss. He was our quarterback last year, had some game experience, and I think they ran much of a veer type of offense. So he's a tough kid. He can run, and, and that's probably his strong suit is running. But he can throw it when he needs to. But he's a tough kid. He's a natural leader. He gets the guys lined up, and he knows what to do to get the offense going. There's a guy that, he was on the team last year, but didn't really see a whole lot of him. He's a smaller guy. His name is Jason Bitter Baldwin, but he's real shifty. He's quick, and the kid's fast. He's a track guy. He's going to be a guy that I feel like can help us be explosive on the offensive side of the ball. Isaiah Welch, who's another threat with speed. He's that guy as well. He comes back, had some playing time last year. He's going to be a senior. All of these guys are seniors. And I think those 3 guys on the offense are going to definitely help us. We got some guys up front on the line Dominic Bath, who comes back as a senior. He's really impressed us on the line, and Caden Vanderhoort, who has also impressed us on the line. So we've got some guys I feel like are going to be leaders on the offensive side of the ball that I think maybe haven't been showcased in our region, but our plan is to give those guys the best kind of situation to showcase their skills. And defensively, of course, the region player who was voted by the DNJ as one of the players to watch, Kevin Ruiz, on the defensive end. He can rush the pass. He can play solid on the run. Jacoby Green, another defensive end. Big Austin Dixon in the middle on the defensive line. You're talking about a 300-pounder who it causes trouble down low. And, of course, in the secondary, Micah Payne, who's a corner. He's a ball hawk, has great cover skills, and I really, really feel good about him. There's a freshman I want to talk about, Tyler Woods, who was at Laverne Middle School last year. This kid is special. He's definitely, we're excited about his future here at Laverne, but he's going to see some playing time on Friday nights.
Well, the starting Monday, it's game week preparation, and it's going to take a little bit to get but I'm sure there's a million things going through your mind of this is how we want to do this day, but it'll all come together, and a chance to see the new era of Laverne football Friday night as you take on Franklin. So, Coach, we wish you much success, and of course, we'll see you week to week here, and hopefully we'll talk about that first win here in a year or so.
That is the plan. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Chris Johnson joining us today on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car, professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. AutoRepairSmyrna.com online.
Fix for your sweet tooth. Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient.
The frustration many are feeling is real and justified. Kenneth Barrett said that after the county commission denied raises for deputies this year, and as sheriff, fair pay will be a top priority.
We need to figure out how we can get ours comparable to other agencies and start communication with the county commission to try to get less steps at a higher percentage.
With nearly 30 years at the sheriff's office, Barrett brings servant leadership, accountability, transparency, and fairness. Learn more at KennethBarrettForSheriff.com.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer.
It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coach's Show brought to you in part by our friends at Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. The head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Kevin Creasy, joins us this morning. Hasn't been that long ago that we were doing this in November, so Coach, good morning.
Not too long ago.
Well, here we are again. How many years is this for you now?
11 at Oakland.
11 at Oakland.
29 as a coach and a teacher.
That's a long time to do anything, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't seem that long, but glad I got a career that I actually enjoy.
Yeah. You've got kids that are out of high school too now.
That's right. Got one that's graduated. I still got one that's going to be a sophomore, so she's about to get a driver's license, so we're fired up about that.
You don't have to, somebody has to play taxi until the driver's license, right?
That's right.
So how has it been adjusting to the oldest being out of high school?
Well, a little bit different for sure. You know, he's been kind of at practice every day since he was 7 years old. But I'll have to say this. I think I've seen him once at practice since he graduated. This guy, he's having a good old time. The summer between high school and college is always fun. I told him, enjoy it while you can. It doesn't last very long. And so he's having a heck of a time. He's going to go to MTSU. And like I said, he's doing a lot of golfing, pickleball,
nice,
working out. I mean, he's probably going to sleep till noon. He may not hear this interview, but like I said, he's enjoyed his time off.
Well, he can catch the podcast or something in the middle of the night or whatnot. But the rec center is a pretty fun place.
Yeah,
when you're that young. Well, as we turn the page here to a new season, and boy, the expectations are just as high as they've ever been at Oakland, which I guess that's better than any alternative.
Yeah, it's good to kind of have yourself established and have the culture that you want and the expectations that you want, and we've been on the other side of it where we've built it up and had to go through some trying times, but we've lost some really good guys to graduation. That senior class this past year was really special. Can't talk enough about how they were resilient. Not the most talented bunch we had come through, but it was behind in 8 ball games. Came from behind in 8 ball games, and we were behind in double digits in 4 of them. 4 of our 5 playoff games, we were losing, and to have a memorable year like last year was special. But that was last year. We can put that one to rest and focus on this year. We got some good guys coming back, but we got some big shoes to fill for sure.
If a coach has 9 lives like a cat, last year you probably used up more than one, didn't you?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's credit to the players. The players have been around our program, and they just expected to win. That's something that you can't do overnight. And like I said, I was real proud of them to fight back and never give up.
Coach, it's good that you are, while you did graduate some, there are some underclassmen, Craig Tutt, Kyrie, you've got a good core coming back, and, having that experience from last year obviously puts them in new roles as leaders now, though, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to see the young guys now in the leadership positions. Like I said, Kyrie Gaynor, one of the best DBs around. Craig Tutt, two-way player, was up for Mr. Football last year as a junior. So keep him healthy. He's going to have a good season. Looking around at Cullen Williams, he's our inside linebacker, definitely going to be the leader of the defense. Cam Sanders, the leader of our D-line, just guys that have been in our program. We always get talked about with all the transfers, and it's just the way sports is nowadays. I mean, from the top level all the way down. But 18 of our 22 starters played at Oakland Middle School. So we're doing a good job with our feeder programs. Those guys are wanting to come back and be a part of something they grew up watching, and you don't always get that in big schools. You don't always get that in big towns, but Oakland's kind of got that community feel to it, and a lot of those guys played youth football, since they were real small, and have worked their way up through our feeder system.
I really think, and a lot of people are doing that here in the county, but the fact that you get these little kids out there that are putting on an Oakland helmet, and then they go to the middle school and the same colors, and they grow up through that. Not every school in Rutherford County has that type of feeder school right across the street, and the middle school has had a lot of success over the years. So, I mean, it would make sense that they keep coming up, right?
Yep. A lot of people want, associated with winning programs, and our youth football team's done a good job of winning. I think our middle schools won the county championship like 4 out of the last 5 years. Our freshmen's won the county championship 4 out of the last 5 years. Our JV team's been undefeated for 12 years now.
Wow.
So it's one of those deals where we just, we focus on a lot of things, but winning's one of them.
Well, you've already kind of mentioned this a little bit, but this new rule, and, it's hard to keep up. It's like the bouncing ball. But did college football bring this in? I mean, and NIL and all that stuff. I mean, it just seems weird to talk about that on the high school level, but here we are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like anything else. It trickles down from the top. So, we have a concussion policy that we follow that trickled down from the NFL to college. We've got summer practice restrictions that trickled down from the NFL to college to high school. So a lot of the rules and regulations have always kind of trickled down, and unfortunately this NIL stuff and the transfer portal sort of say it's kind of trickled down. But I just see it as parents are going to do whatever they can to help their kids out, and we've lost kids, we've gotten kids. People don't always talk about the kids that we had leave. We've had 3 leave since this summer, and they were going to be starters. So it's one of those deals where there's going to be people moving in because they like what they got in front of them. They see maybe somebody graduating a position that their kid played, but then at the same time, there's a lot of times kids are leaving for what they think is better opportunities. We've had people leave and then come back, and they found out that the grass wasn't always greener, and all those promises that were made, to their parents weren't kept. So, it's a sticky situation. You got to be careful with that stuff. And, I've been a parent. The only thing I can advise people on is you better get with some coach that you can trust. It's one of those deals where you better be careful going after and listening to people that are giving you advice to benefit them. And I understand.
But it sounds like it benefits the kid and the parents, right?
Right.
Sometimes.
I mean, they're trying to do a sell job, and that's unfortunate, but that's just the way the way it is now, and that's where we're at. But ultimately, the parents are going to do what they think is best for their kids. The hard part about a head coach is he's got to do what's best for 100 kids, and sometimes that isn't what a parent wants to hear. And like I said, they'll move around and go to another school, and it's just the way, it's just part of it, and you got to be able as a coach to adjust and move on with it. And our philosophy is if a kid doesn't want to be here, they don't need to be here.
Oakland coach Kevin Creasy is here with us. It's been a really weird off season. Some schools deciding, hey, we don't even have programs anymore, that kind of thing. So there has been some movement in that, but a name that we've heard a lot about is Joel Wyatt, also pretty good freshman. I mean, you've got some keys that are here, and quarterback position, maybe see several people in that spot. So,
yeah, we've got Dante Cameron, Cam Morton battling it out. Patrick Freeman is got a really good baseball offer. And we're still trying to talk him into coming back, because he's a gunslinger. He would help our football team, and competition's a good thing. So we don't mind 2-3 quarterbacks battling it out. The cream usually rises to the top, and right now we've got a real good battle between Cam and Dante. And the good thing, like I said, they're both young, and they're both coming back next year. And Cam is only a freshman. That's the crazy part, is he's so talented, and he's only, a freshman. We're looking at starting 2 freshmen this year, something that has never happened at Oakland. So, I think Oakland gets a bad rap. A lot of times people are like, yeah, I'm not going to Oakland because they don't play people until their senior year because they're so, deep at every position. That's not true. We're thin just like everybody else. And, we're so thin that we've got 2 freshmen. Of course, both of them are real special. But we got 2 freshmen that are going to start for us. And, if you can play, it doesn't matter, your size, your last name, what grade you're in, you're going to play if you're the best. And Trent Gibbs is going to play for us on offense, and he's a phenomenal freshman. And then, of course, we got Cam Morton, who's going to start as well.
Tell me a little bit about, we'll have to save conversation about the new region and stuff, but I did want to talk about this week 1 game because it's drawn a lot of attention. And it's no secret finding opponents for you has been a challenge, so at least having more region opponents helps with that. But you start off the season on Friday night with CPA.
Yeah, the good news is we're not traveling to Texas or anything like that for a game this year. But CPA is kind of dealing with the same things we've dealt with for years, and that's finding opponents, and it's really difficult. And we can complain about how hard our schedule's been over the last few years, but no one has a tougher schedule than CPA. CPA has by far the toughest schedule in the state. And we're going to have a hard time defeating those guys. I mean, they have a heck of a team. But my goodness, week in and week out, they have some of the best coming in to play, and, out-of-state opponents as well. And they're in a tough region as it is, but their schedule's unbelievable. And credit to Ingle Martin and his staff for scheduling us first, game of the season. And like I said, it's going to be an instant classic. It's 2 real good teams, and those guys have, I think, the longest win streak in the state going right now, and for good reason, because they got a heck of a team and a lot of seniors coming back. And like I said, expecting a packed house. Should be a lot of people there, and should be a great environment.
Should be, and that's where we will kick off our 79th season of high school sports coverage here on WGNS. Looking forward to that and the season that is ahead. And, Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning, and looking forward to following the Patriots however far we go in this adventure.
Sounds good.
All right. Coach Kevin Creasy joining us on the Coaches Show, brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Ron Reeves, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor. And while you've heard the saying, slow and steady wins the race, that same concept can be applied to long-term investing. Investing a little bit at a time on a regular basis can really add up. We call this systematic investing, and though it doesn't guarantee a profit or prevent a loss, it's a way to take advantage of market volatility instead of enduring it. Give me a call, Lee Colvin, at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We are back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Ideas Tees. They'll be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. They're in a brand new location right across from Middle Tennessee Christian School, ideastees.com online. We head to the north end of the county now. It's time to talk some Stewart's Creek football. Ben Caudill here with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. There are a lot of places to start with you, I guess, in terms of talking about this year, but expectations have to be sky high after the most successful season in Stewart's Creek history last year. So those things build off each other, don't they?
Yeah, I think that's what you want. It was a really special year last year, and I think what made it special was the kids we had in our locker room. The job that our coaches did. Last year in 13 games, we really only had two bad quarters. The third quarter against Blackman, in the second quarter against Ravenwood, in the third down and in the third quarter in the third round. And last year's group was a group that loved to practice. They loved to practice when you challenged them. They didn't get their feelings hurt. They responded. They wanted to be tough. They wanted to show that they were tough, and that's some of the things we've been trying to, replicate for this year is a desire to get better, a desire to get coached, a desire to, respond when you are coached and understand where it's coming from and the process that you have to go through every day to get better, so that group, it's really only made the job this year a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
But it sure does say a lot about how far we've come as a program. Coming off our first region championship in school history, that's certainly something we're all excited about. We're going to have to roll our sleeves up and try and do it again.
This has been a very interesting, we'll call it off season, just, after the football season. A lot of things with high school athletics have changed. I mean, it's been a roller coaster just trying to keep up with all of the changes from, new region to, transfer rules and, NIL, all this stuff that we thought maybe would just stay in the upper echelon, but it's here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, I guess starting with, the new region, really for us, I feel like it's exactly what we went through, in 21 and 22. We were moved to the Rutherford County region. Yeah. Smyrna and Laverne stayed with Metro. And our non-region games in 21 and 22 were with Smyrna and Laverne. And so, really, all the conversation about us all being together, that was us in 21 and 22. We played, everybody that was a 6A school in Rutherford County those 2 years. And, so it's going to be a great challenge. We're not going to leave the county this year. We had to find 3 non-region games. We found 2 of them before the playoffs started, and I found our 10th game with Knoxville Webb in the middle of January. I really went through the first few weeks of January thinking that we weren't going to be able to play 10 games, and finally found a game with Knoxville Webb. They're going to come to us this year. And
another problem with having the best season in school history too, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
It's a great problem to have, but we're glad we got 10 games. We looked at all our receivables last year and looked at our worst home gate, and then we looked at something like we do for a fundraiser in the spring, and we made the decision we were going to have, long ago, we were going to have 6 home games this year, and that's something that I'm excited about, the opportunity to be at home, and even other things in the off season that we're really excited, not just for our program but our school, is our band got to go perform at the presidential inauguration.
Yeah.
How many coaches get to play under the lights every Friday with a band that has performed in DC under the president and has to raise all that money to go literally in a span of weeks. And so that speaks to just the overall excellence and leadership of our school and within everything that happens on a Friday night.
Facilities, any facility changes this year and all that kind of thing? I know you're always constantly trying to improve things.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I've heard a few of the other guys this morning kind of bring this stuff up. The biggest thing that I try to do is every offseason is what can we do to alleviate stress from our coaches? And, that can be measured big and small. We reorganized our equipment room, spent some money to make that much more efficient. We, got a new ice machine, which is over $5,000, and that's going to be, huge for our program with how much ice we use on a weekly basis. We moved, our shed about 60 yards across the practice field, which is going to save a whole lot of time. And we also bought a new trailer for away games, which when you buy that new, I think it appraises right now more than the vehicle that I drive.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, but that's going to be something that's going to be a big game changer for our program. Right now we're looking at artwork for that, and that's something that I know our coaches and all the guys that help us organize things are really excited about. Long term we're trying to get a field house done. Obviously that's not going to be cheap, and I spent so much time this offseason just trying to move the ball down the field with that. That's a huge need for our program. That's something that's always in the back of my mind. And any coach you talk to, something they think about every day of the year. It doesn't matter if you're in season or out of season, is finances. And, over here, we got to raise and we got to spend what we can raise. And, that's, something I'm glad we've been able to, improve upon every single year.
Well, and we're talking to Ben Caudill. I know that there are spots that you're going to have to fill, but tell me a little bit about where you think your team is here as we go into week 1 next Friday.
Yeah, well, I think, it always starts, at least what I look at it is when we're playing somebody else, is the quarterback, does he have experience? Do they bring a quarterback back? How much has he played? And, Jerry Taylor is, really like my third son in many ways. I mean, I'm as close to him as any player that I've ever coached. And, I love him like I'm my own and coach him like he's, the one sitting right next to me here. We bring back, several offensive linemen, Jordan Shaw, Josiah Hall, Elijah Roberts. Mekhi Williams is a guy that played on both sides last year. He's going to get some time at guard. We bring back some experience on defense as well. Amari Bledsoe, Dallas Johnson, Daniel Johnson, who was an all-region player last year at outside linebacker. Got 2 seniors coming back at inside linebacker, Gabriel Gomar and Jonathan Hadley. We bring our kicker back and our snapper back, which is always in the special team something that can decide a game. We really felt like in the 2 games we lost last year, the difference wasn't offensive or defensive scheme, it was special teams. So anytime you can bring back a snapper and a holder and a kicker, I think that's a big deal.
Centennial, first team up for you here, and let's see, just trying to scoot on down the schedule a little bit. You play the next week on a Thursday, going to Stratford, and I guess your first region game is with Siegel. So, that's another thing that happens when you have a larger region. You start playing those a lot quicker too.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I don't think we played our first region game last year until the 5th week.
Yeah,
we're excited. We got 2 games really in the next 12 days. So it's going to be a busy time, an exciting time. Centennial's got a new head coach, former Tennessee running back from the 90s, Jay Graham. I still remember him running down the sideline in a big game against Alabama. And so it's going to be an honor to meet him. He coached with Jimbo Fisher at Florida State and Texas A&M. I know he's going to have his guys ready for his first game, as head coach. And it's going to be a great challenge for us, playing against a team that, has advanced in the playoffs the last 2 years. These kids that are rising seniors, they know how to win. Luckily we get to have them at home. A huge home field advantage at Stewart's Creek has always been the case. And we're going to have to figure out a great plan this week because they've got a lot of great athletes. And I know everybody that's a part of, our Friday night experience is going to be really excited to get things started off.
I would assume the team, coaches, you all are ready to get past this, practice phase and get into a normal routine, weekly routine.
Yeah, I think any kid later in the summer, they wouldn't say it. I think they're ready for school to start. Yeah. And coaches too, we're ready to be in more of a routine. And this is, kind of the things we want to check off on a Monday and so to speak. But, it's an exciting time at Stewart's Creek. All the rezoning, there's so much building going on in Stewart's Creek. And I've sat with kids in my office, just with tears in their eyes, whatever I can do to stay at Stewart's Creek. That happens so often, and in a growing district and county, it might be a common thing every few years, but I can assure you, it changes the course of kids' lives, when that happens. And the extent to which, any student and family goes to keep their kids at Stewart's Creek, I mean, that's a segment in and of itself, and it speaks to, the leadership. We've had one principal in 13 years, and the job he's done is, truly remarkable. Dr. Clark Harrell.
He doesn't look like he's slowing up any either.
Hey, I tell you, when you see him on a Friday night, he's as energetic as he's ever been, at least in the 7 years that I've been there, and having his support, every day of the year, not just on Friday nights, means a lot to me. And, I want him to be proud of our program and experience on a Friday night, and just really excited and honored, here to be, sitting with you here for the 6th year in a row. It means a lot to me.
Well, we'll have plenty of conversations down the road. Good luck on Friday night, home game. Get out and support the Red Hawks, and we'll see you back here. Appointment listening for Red Hawk fans around 10:15 every Saturday morning.
Yes, sir, Brian. And last thing, congrats to you on becoming a grandfather here
thanks.
Recently.
Yeah,
you've never looked better, and your son over here hasn't either, and that's a tremendously joyful time of life, and I'm really excited for you.
Well, appreciate that, and enjoy those while you have them that age, because they grow up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Ben Caudill joining us this morning on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
Frustration many are feeling is real and justified. Kenneth Barrett said that after the county commission denied raises for deputies this year, and as sheriff, fair pay will be a top priority.
We need to figure out how we can get ours comparable to other agencies and start communication with the county commission to try to get less steps at a higher percentage.
With nearly 30 years at the sheriff's office, Barrett brings servant leadership, accountability, transparency, and fairness. Learn more at KennethBarrettForSheriff.com.
Paid for by Kenneth Barrett for Sheriff, J.M. Stewart Treasurer.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auction helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27 and a half.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call?
Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Looking for the best Blue Raider gear in town? Raider Tees has you covered. From stylish apparel and hats to unique MT-themed gifts and accessories, we've got everything a true Blue Raider fan needs. Whether you're headed to the game, shopping for a fellow fan, or just want to show off your Middle Tennessee pride, Raider Tees is the go-to spot. Stop by 111 East MTCS Road, right across from MTCS, and check out our unbeatable selection. Raider Tees, bigger, better, and go blue.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
We're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and other local favorites out there on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne-Marie Brents and the Lanning family. We're talking Rockvale football here this morning, and brand new football coach. I don't know, does it still feel brand new, Coach Counts?
No, it seems like I've been here a long time.
Yeah, I would say. First time on the air here on the Coaches Show. And you had a welcoming party earlier, but they were, I guess the heat got to them. Coach Walker and Will Kreisky, I think they were going to greet you.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
Yeah. It's amazing for people who maybe don't know you, but you've got ties to a lot of these guys here in the county and ties to Rutherford County, and you come from Henry County, right?
Yes, sir. And I played here in the early '90s and for Coach Donnelly at MTSU, and actually, I left it was 30 years ago in the same spring, that I came back and still know a lot of people and got a lot of ties here, and it's changed quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, hasn't it?
It's changed quite a bit, but, I love it up here.
Everybody goes through different changes and seasons in their life, but after 30 years, what brought you back to Rutherford County?
I think the biggest thing for me, being from Henry County and played for my dad, coached there with my dad, my two sons, the opportunity to win 2 state championships and first in school history, and then in 18 we played again for it, and I think you get to a stage the longer we get in this to stay in this profession that I needed something for me personally, and I got a phone call, and the phone call was to ask if I knew of anybody, and it ended up it was me. So just challenges, new challenges. As long as I stayed at Henry County, I'm going to continue to be under my dad's umbrella, which I'm good with. Don't get me wrong.
Great umbrella.
So I've learned everything.
Yeah.
I had I feel like the greatest mentor to learn from. We coached together for 20 years. I just felt like I wanted to challenge myself, see what I can do. Do I still have it? Do I still have that drive, the determination, the dedication, the things to, go do something that nobody has done? The school is young, and we don't have the alumni base that these others have, and because this is year 7, and just wanted to bring that to these kids in the Rockville community, and to give them what I've got, and to see if we could get things rolling in the right direction. So that's basically.
Yeah. I mean, you come to an area or a county, let's just look at it from a county perspective, that has had a team in the highest classification of football, whether it was 5A or 6A, that has had a team that has at least played in the semifinals or the championship game or won a state championship 30 out of the last 31 years. That's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
That is very remarkable. And for me, just like at Henry County, when I would put our schedule together, I always tried to get quality teams that would challenge us. Mm-hmm. And what other better conference to be in than right here? And I think it brings out the best in all of us, as coaches, and I love the competitiveness and those kind of things. So
some of the smartest minds in high school football are in this county, don't you think?
Well, I don't know about
included.
If I'm in that group or not.
You are.
But but why not? To be the best, you got to beat the best, and that I think that sharpens all of us, having that opportunity to play against each other.
We've talked about this with some of the other coaches this morning. It's in terms of from one year to the next, the change that has been brought about, not only to high school athletics, but football in particular, and this year for the first time ever having all 8 teams in one region. I mean, number one, that just made the hardest area to play in even harder, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you got to it makes you, or me, you got to look at the off season and how you structure that, and the development of kids, and everybody you got to stay on top of things to be able to be competitive and to play against each other, and everybody knows each other, and it's a good environment.
The Rockville community has, when Rockville started, I think Steve Luker did something that, because it was the first time that we've brought back a high school that was a high school before, and it's always going to stick in my brain. It was reestablished in 2019, and so there is a unique perspective from that, and I think paying homage to the history that was before has done a lot to really probably push all programs, athletics included, a little further down the road than a school in its 7th year would be.
Exactly. And I was going to mention that there's a lot of those guys are very instrumental in the development and the things that, the progress that we're making, and just like getting the turf and all that kind of stuff. Those people have been very helpful and dedicated, and we appreciate them for that too.
That helps with the to-do list for coaches too, that turf, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It makes things, I'm a grass guy, deep down, but, for the availability, the functionality, the things that you can do, that turf allows you to do with as many kids as everybody has now.
And all the usage.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. One group walks off, another group walks on. Bands out there. It's very functional, and that helps. Where a grass field, you couldn't use that.
Well, tell me a little bit about your football team. I know that there are some integral pieces that were there last year to to build on and putting in your game plan, your philosophy that seems to have been received well in the community and with your players?
Well, we've got 8 new faces on defense and 9 on offense. We've got a lot of young kids that are stepping up in roles that, we're going through a few growing pains here. We have, gotten better throughout from when I got here in January through the spring to where we are now. We've come miles from the spring scrimmage, and those guys are getting better, and we've got some great kids that are seniors that are obviously playing key roles for us. But then again, we've got some younger kids too that are catching up, and the game's slowing down for them a little bit.
I guess your offense starts at quarterback, and you do have a guy who brings some experience to that, which obviously, if you've got 9 new kids on the offensive side, it helps to have the quarterbacks with some experience.
It does, and Jonathan Hamby, he's been super. He's a very dedicated young man. He works extremely hard, a great leader, both vocally and leads by example, and we put a lot on him, but it's been very I don't know what the word is, but helped bring some of the other guys along as having him there.
Yeah.
So it's been good for us.
You can tell a lot about a kid. The experience is one thing, but to help his whole team, get better and, help set goals. It's a lot easier when it comes from a teammate than, you could preach all day, and sometimes
Absolutely.
It's hard and not, right?
You got to have those guys help deliver the message of what the standards are and what we expect, and he obviously does that, and he's a good football player, and got a good arm, and he's mentally tough, and he's helped us in all those ways.
When and James Counts is here with us. We're talking Rockville football. When you get asked the question about what's your offensive philosophy, what are you going to see on a Friday night offensively? Maybe kind of describe what we'll see when we see the Rockets on Friday.
Well, we're going to primarily live in 21 personnel. I like to have a tight end, sometimes 2. It's a pro style, gap scheme oriented, quarterback run, read. We're going to RPO, play actions and boots off of that. We're not going to be hurry up. We're going to try to slow the game down a little bit and kind of not going to be big play probably, for early on, but we're going to, methodically try to keep the football and work down the field and limit possessions hopefully that way. But, you got to run the football. And
the 12 play 6-minute drives for you, right?
Defensively, you got to stop the run, so we want to be physical. We want to be a physical team with everything we do, and that's kind of going to be our mindset.
Well, you get to open up at home. You've done this for 3 decades, but there's got to be a little something about first game at Rockville, first home game. There's got to be excitement. That it kind of relights the wood here, doesn't it?
And it's not for me.
Sure.
I'm excited for these kids,
right.
To kind of see and let them see and have something to feel good about, and play for each other and have fun, and that's the biggest thing for me is to let them. I've been pretty rough on them, and I just want them to see the benefits of doing things the way to our standards that we live by, and so that's the big part. Just hoping that they get to see that, and I'm excited to see them play.
I'm sure they're ready to hit somebody else too, right?
Yeah, I think we all are. Yeah,
I bet. Coach, thanks for coming in this morning, and as I've said with each coach, 10:30 for Rockville. That is appointment listening for Rocket fans. Coach Counts will be on each week, or someone there from Rockville if there's an issue, and we always look forward to having our standard time here to talk with all the coaches. And good luck on Friday night, and we'll see you back here next Saturday, too.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. James Couch joining us, the head coach of the Rockville Rockets. On the Coaches Show, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, carrying on the Lanning family tradition.
I'm passionate about it, and I have a lot of my dad in me, so I know that I have the same energy and mindset that he does.
It's the best barbecue you'll eat, the smoked chicken out of this world, and those loaded baked potatoes.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds. People ask us that all the time. Like, where do y'all get those potatoes from?
A quick meal feeding the whole family or catering, they can do it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose. You'd do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card? Remodeling your kitchen? Whatever your dreams, they take planning. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack. Let's work together to come up with a plan to make those savings goals happen. Call me at 615-900-0877.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of I'm Danny Brewer, back with you on the Coaches Show. You know, I'm happier than a dog because I got Adam from me, head football coach at Six. How are you this morning?
I'm great. It is good to start this year off.
Well, you know, we've talked about it. Hope is eternal right now. You know, it's the beginning of the season. There's lots of excitement at every school because everybody's 0-0 and we're all contenders.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you know, and at Siegel, we've got a lot of excitement. We got 29 seniors. You know, had some facility enhancements in the off season, and man, we've had a great summer. Our kids have worked so hard, and so yeah, we're ready to go.
So let's talk a little bit about what's happened. I know last night was the jamboree at your place. Really, really neat when you host something where other schools come in, and not just a one opponent, but you had 4 schools there last night, counting yourself. Really, that's a cool environment, especially for high school football.
Oh, it was, and I want appreciate Coach Williams, Coach Coons, Coach Dryden coming over, and that's always an odd time because you want to get good work in that week before. You want to run your special teams on. You want to get people hurt, and so there's a lot of things at play there. And of course, I didn't want it to get too big, but I wanted Siegel to host something, and I thought it was a great event. We had a big crowd. You know, our cheerleader team, man, the band was rocking last night. I mean, it was a really cool event, better than I did. Proud of our booster club and the people that worked so hard to put that on.
Also a good chance to showcase your facility, right?
Yes, sir. We put in a new track this off season, and it looks awesome. Coach Smith did a great job designing that, and we've also got the LED lights now, and Siegel's always been a little dark, and with those LED lights, it's a great facility to play ball in right now.
You know, it does make a huge difference. People don't necessarily realize that until you see like the old lighting and then you see the new lighting and you're like, whoa, it really can make a huge difference.
Yes, sir. It's amazing. And of course, we've got, we've got the enhancements with the flashing lights and all that kind of stuff, which kind of adds another element to it. And so, yeah, just Mr. Creasy's worked really hard to build our facility and invest in it. And, the support that Siegel has for not just our program, but all of its sports programs is phenomenal.
I agree with you. I think Larry Creasy has done an excellent job there at Siegel, and just with all of the enhancements and everything like that. And it not only is sport, but it's also a little spectacle, which is important in this day and time.
It is, and we want an environment that's exciting for the student body and exciting for the parents, and there's puts a little bit of bounce in the player step too. So it's a really cool facility.
Let's talk a little bit about the preseason, what's going on so far. Obviously, there really is not much off-season these days with the weight workouts and the summer programs and all that stuff. But talk a little bit about the preseason and what you guys have done and what's occurred so far.
Oh, yeah. The boys have worked really hard all summer long, Right now, we're relatively healthy. Of course, in the scrimmages, we've scrimmaged Brentwood. We've scored 2 really good football teams. And, unfortunately, we've lost a seamless to an ACL injury. That really hurts. But other than that, we're healthy, and we got several kids who have consistently gotten better. Now, I think we've still got quite a bit of work to do to get to where we need to be, but our kids have worked extremely hard.
The district that you've played in, it's changed a little bit this year with the bringing back of Smyrna and Stewart's Creek and Laverne. So it's an all Rutherford County district. Talk a little bit about what that brings to the table, because it's all Rutherford County region now, and what's your thoughts on that? It's exciting then as far as region goes, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we've been playing Smyrna and Laverne. Stewart's Creek being on the schedule also is a big deal, and so making these district ball games, putting some skin in the game, making these things matter, it's going to be, I don't know, it should be exciting for the fans. It might be a little more worrisome for the coaches, but it's going to be exciting for the fans.
Well, right, Stars mentality. When you're looking at what you're facing here as far as district schedule wise, talk a little bit about the Stars mentality and what you want your kids to focus on, because you're battling your neighbors every game in the league.
Yeah, well, our thing this summer is we've tried to develop a hard edge, and that's been our theme, and that's what we've talked about. I've talked to the seniors, asked them to develop a theme for us, and we're going to keep that in. Have been our program. They were really good as freshmen. They really fought hard the last 4 years in their programs through some ups and downs. But for me personally, I want our program to take that next step and become a physical football team that knows how to handle tough things. And I think they've accepted that challenge so far. And we could have done a lot of things better first time under the lights last night, but I was really encouraged by our senior leadership last night and the things they were saying, the excitement to get back to practice on Monday.
Well, that's really, really good stuff. So let's talk a little bit about offense, a little bit about what you saw last night and kind of what you guys want to try to do this year.
Yeah, well, in all offensive line wise, and I really feel like we're a really good offensive line. We made some mistakes last, like those guys up front are starting to gel. Tackle Princeton Uwefo, he's he really had a good preseason. We've seen a lot of growth in him. Our left guard Bryson Vaughn, those two guys together. Got a new center, the Bradley, doing a great job there. The right side, Ellis and Barlow, they got to be stalwarts for us over there. And so it starts up front. We feel like those guys are growing. We some improvement there before, especially in the early. These first few games are critical, and we need to keep growing.
So let's talk a little bit about the other side of football, defense. What you like defensively about what you've seen so far?
We've got some athleticism in the secondary. A kid, Delvion Ewing, came for us at corner last year, and he's made several plays in the preseason. The real deal, we're athletic up front, maybe a little undersized, but I've seen a lot of growth in our defensive line over the last week and a half. The coaches over there have challenged them, and watching the film from last night really well.
Let's talk a little bit about special teams. The importance of special teams. Sometimes it's something that's overlooked, but talk a little bit about what you got special teams wise.
Yeah, coaches our special teams does a great job. We work a lot of individual drills to be good special teams every day and all summer long. Is our kicker. He was our year, has a ton of experience, lined up, kicked it was important last night. We ran the field goal team out there and kicked field goal, and I think he hit like a 30 like that, maybe a little deeper. But he's kicking the ball deep. He's a punter, and the fundamentals of special teams are they've improved a great deal under Coach Mallory's leadership.
The importance of the kicking scored, can it?
Oh, a break in the kicking game, especially in our league, it turns the game around. Those are the things that keep you up at night early in the season. A turnover on a kick, and that's pump block, those kinds of things. Before you can win a game, you got to not lose them. And so special teams is a place where you if you're not ready.
I love that. Before you can win a game, you do that. Good stuff, Coach. All right, so let's talk a little bit about schedule. Who do you open up with next week? We go to Cookeville. The way our schedule goes, 3 games are on the road. So Siegel Stars got to be road warriors these first 3 weeks. Cookeville has had some fine seasons. Coach Hennigan does a great job. They're making the playoffs. They're always big, strong, and physical. So they'll be a tough opponent for us next week. It'll be a challenge. So it's a little bit of a road trip. Bad news, having to travel an hour and a half or so to play? Well, we'll see. We'll see how we handle it. I think early in the year, it's a chance for us to come together as a football team. And, senior doing the right thing in practice. And so let's see how next week. Let's see how we get on the road. Let's see how we do this. They're a well-coached program, and that we give them our best, and that can be really good for us at the beginning of the year. You usually have growth between the first and second ball game, so how we approach the first ball game and the growth after it is imperative. You mentioned the 29 seniors. That's a real positive. You think so? Oh, yeah. And not only that, I mean, one of the things people are probably tired of hearing me preach quality men, and that's our mission statement, developing quality men. And so we've, I've said these guys are quality men, or we're growing quality men for the last couple of years that way about these 29 seniors. They have grown. They're being, and I just can't say enough about them and their parents. What year is this for you as the head football coach at Siegel? I'm starting my 6th season. It's kind of crazy to think about coming up here, like starting the 6th year and working on this program with a lot of great people. It's a little bit surreal. The good news about that is these seniors grow up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And all of their families, and I've seen them in the school building. Lots of ups and downs, and but they want to develop relationships with these kids, pour into them, develop quality men. Coach Crenshaw, you're doing fantastic. If you want to see some good football and a great facility over there to Siegel when you open up, when's your first home game? Actually, it's week 4. I can't recall the date. That'll be probably like September 12th, maybe, something like that. Okay. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning.
Yes, sir.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by J.H.A. Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com.
Rates and personal service, let me turn your homeownership dreams into reality. Visit my website, lakeandhampton.com, or come by my office at 322 North Front Street, located in downtown Murfreesboro, and let's get started.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. We show up for you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 401715.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. MTE.com. Brewer here. Week one of the Coaches Show. I'm on cloud 9 right now because I got Floyd Walker across the table from me, Eagleville football coach, mastermind of the football world. Coach Walker, how are you this morning?
Hey, man, downhill from there, brother. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having us on this morning.
Well, we're happy to do that, Coach. And I mean, you're top of the heap. We all know that. So let's talk a little bit about the excitement of now.
Right.
As far as it's week one is next week.
Right.
Everybody's 0-0. We've got all this excitement. Everybody's a contender right now.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. It's just an opportunity to see what you actually have. It's going to be an opportunity for some kids who've never got, meaningful minutes in games. So you're excited for those kids to see how they're going to perform under the lights for the very first time. You've got some older kids returning. You're excited. They've matured over the past 12 months since we finished our last game, and you're just excited for the community because, as you well know, when you're talking about single A football in a small rural community, the county starts to buzz about it a little bit, and we think we're going to have a pretty good product to put on the field, and we're just excited to get on under the lights and let's go.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that was one of my points I want to make. The Eagleville community, we've talked about this on several occasions before. The community involvement, single A, it can be really, really good from the standpoint of everybody's invested. And Eagleville is really invested in your football program.
They have. I mean, anything that we try to do football-wise, the community and the parents have to do a phenomenal job of supporting. Any type of fundraisers, any type of events, from field cleanup to concession stand cleanup, anything that we need, our community and our parents do a super job of helping us out.
And when we talk about the community, how about the growth that's going on there? There's lots of growth in Eagleville right now.
Oh, it's boom. It's busted at the seams as far as the school building goes. And we're excited about it because, as you well know, the more growth you get, the more things can come your way as well. So we're excited about the future of the Eagleville community. We're excited about the future of Eagleville School. And we're excited about the future things that could possibly come down the path as far facilities and everything go.
Let's talk about the Floyd Walker way. Football has been a part of your life.
Right.
We know you were a really good high school football player, a really good college football player at MTSU, coach at MTSU. Lots. I mean, it's been your life.
Right.
So talk about how football plays into the development of kids and in that investing in their lives.
I think the biggest thing to football, we try to teach football as far as it needs to be able to relate to how life is going to work once you walk out the door. If we can teach you how to show up, how to work hard, how to be on time, how to be respectful, and how to do your job to the very best of ability, then we think that's going to transform into making that young man a super father, a super employee, and a super husband. So that's the big thing we try. You are accountable, make sure you're dependable, make sure that everything that you do, you give effort, and that people know that they can. And I think that's been our formula, because if you watch our kids, all of our kids are really close. They all communicate well, and they get along in the locker room. So I think we're doing something as far as trying to develop men. And we win football games along the way, which is a plus.
At the end of the day, that's what it's really all about, right?
That's it. That's all it's about. And you've heard the thing before. Ain't nobody people may talk about, when you're done, coach, but ain't nobody gonna really care how many games you won. All right, you can tell the value of your life. I tell the kids all the time, you can tell the value of your life about how many people show up at your funeral. Now that sounds a little bit morbid, but if nobody shows up at your funeral, you probably die. A lot of people show up at your funeral, tells you the type of impact that you've had on some people.
Well, that's very interesting you say that, because one boy that I knew that he passed, and everybody, a lot of them, I spoke at his funeral. He said, "You want to be two things. You want to do: remembered and missed. That's what you want to be. And if you're remembered and you're missed, then people will show up. And you're right. That's making an indelible mark in the game of life, which is what you want to do.
Right. And right now we're living in a very, very selfish world. So trying to teach kids how to be selfless and give more of themselves than they ask more people to give to them, it's getting more and more challenging. But I think athletics helps teach that. Because if you have to come out there and play football, and you have to make sure that you do your job. Touchdown, you may not have a lot of yardage, but your team won and you contributed. And the feeling that you have as far as being part of that success is something that you can't put a price tag on.
Let's talk a little bit about the feeder system that you have at Eagleville, because I know that as a 1A school, sometimes maybe you don't have the liberty of a large community with a youth program. All that stuff, the feeder system out there at Eagleville, and kind of how that's going out there.
We've got everything. We've got junior pro through middle school back up to high school. We had one of our big fundraisers. It's called Meet the Eagles, where we invite the community out. We have a scrimmage, and we invite our junior pro football players, our junior pro cheerleaders. Every fall sport is invited to it, and our middle is on the. The middle school played Thursday night, and they beat Cannon County. So it's one of those situations where it's booming.
And that's a good thing for Eagleville, because as you seen those kids come up through the ranks, right, and you come and see the guys on Friday nights and want to be that guy on Friday night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because what you do is you see the little kid, and we have the fortune of seeing our kids K through K in our building, and to see junior pro kids walk around with an Eagleville jersey on, and they're just as happy as all get out because they get to wear that jersey. And it's going to get to a Friday night where they get to put on that jersey with the same number, and they're going to reflect them to be able to experience that. And for our kids to be able, when they were that age, is something to.
Let's get down to nuts and bolts of football. Right. Next week, who you open?
Providence Christian out of Murfreesboro. Ferguson and his team are going to be well coached, going to be a tough bunch, and have to travel to us, and we're excited about the opportunity. Last year we had a great game with them over at MTSU. We know that they're going to be physical. We know that be challenging as far as how we defend, spread you from boundary to boundary, and do those type of things. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what all football games come down to: who can block, and who can tackle, and who can run the football, and we're going to find out if we're going to be able to do those things.
Coach, I'm not asking you to necessarily divulge X's and O's here, but offensively speaking, what do you want to do offensively? I mean, as a general rule for the season, you want to do offensively?
Here's my philosophy has always been this: all we want to do is whatever it takes to win the ball game and score one more than our opponent. That's what we want to do.
That's enough. They score more than they do.
Yeah, if you score one more than they do, then you're going to end up having to win it. Nobody's really going to remember the scores of the game. All people really remember is, did you win or did you lose? And that's basically, at the end of the day, what it's all about. So how you do it, do whatever you need to do offensively. All right, do whatever you need to do defensively to one more point than the opponent scores.
How many kids you got coming back skill-wise as far as talk about your experience skill-wise?
We lost a ton of them. We lost a ton of them from the graduate. So when you start looking at our lost 3 of the 4 start from last year's squad. We lost our starting running back. Right? When you flip it over to the defensive side, we all 4 of our outside linebackers and 3 people in the secondary. And basically 7 people on defense and about 4 or 5 people on offense. So it's going to be an opportunity for some young kids to play. It's going to be an opportunity for some older kids that's been in the program for 3 or 4 years to play and contribute, and I'm excited about those guys.
Well, because opportunity is what they want, and they're going to have opportunities.
Oh yeah, it goes to show that if you can continue to develop, and you buy your time, that you're going to end up getting to play, and people are going to. And I think that's going to hold some value for us, for some of these kids that's going to have this opportunity.
We lost quite a few skill players, but what about up front? How do you like yourself in the trenches?
I think that should be our strong suit. We've got 7, 8 offensive linemen that can be in the rotation, 3 down defensive front. So from that standpoint, both ways, we feel like we could possibly rotate anywhere from 6 to 8 kids in and try to keep those guys. We feel really, really good about our linemen. They've been in games, so if we can keep them healthy and keep them fresh, we think that ought to be a big benefit to us.
Sometimes people overlook special teams. The importance of special teams is important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about
in the first ball game.
Right.
And we'll be breaking in a new punter. We had the luxury of having Marshall 4 years. We'll be breaking in a new extra point field goal kicker. He was with us last year, but this is going to be the year that he's going to be counted on. We feel good about it. They've practiced well. They've had some good reps. They just need, and let's see what happens.
Well, Coach, if we didn't mention thoroughbred horse racing because of the stud that you are all the time, today they run the Alabama Stakes Grade 1 event. 2 of the top 3-year-old fillies are running in this. You've got Good Kentucky Oaks. You've got Nitrogen. Between them, they have won races this year. So Good Cheer, trained by Brad Cox, Kentucky Oaks champ. Nitrogen, she's won, like I said, 5 this year. She's been a grass horse. She's trying dirt. Who you like, Good Cheer or Nitrogen?
Here's my question to you first. Have they ever raced against each other?
They have never raced against each other. So that's what makes this very interesting. Like I said, Nitrogen has predominantly been a turf horse. She's going to dirt. It's a 1.25 miles. She's going to dirt. Good Cheer has been a dirt horse her entire career. The Good Cheer. There you go. Good Cheer. And that's what people's going to be doing at Eagleville. It's going to be some Good Cheer at Eagleville. So I like Good Cheer at Eagleville this Friday night when you host PCA. Coach, we appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate y'all having us on.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service mortgage services.
Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. My team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. We've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to be positioned for the long term. We provide the tools for a disciplined approach to investing. Call 615-907-7056 for an opportunity to discuss your situation. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM 100.5. It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Danny Brewer here on the Cougar Corner. You know, it's exciting for me because I'm sitting across the table from Christian Peterson, head football coach at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Coach, how are you this morning?
Man, I'm fantastic. Happy to be here.
Very good, Coach. All right, so let's just get rolling with a few things. How's your third year as head coach? In your third year?
Yeah, third year as head coach, fifth overall. It's wild how fast that's happened.
Time flies.
Absolutely.
Well, I know there's been a lot of fun because we're going to get into that here. Let's talk about some of the other fun stuff, the facilities. There's been some major upgrades, I think, going into this football season. Tell us a little bit about what's going on over there.
Yeah, so we're able to update the locker room and, we took out the flooring, put in brand new lockers. It's been fantastic. We're able to add some more in there. It's top of the line stuff, and our kids have been really excited about it. And then, that was really Taylor Farms helped make that one happen. Without their support on that one, that ain't getting done. And then, we're gonna have a brand new, beautiful turf field this year. SRM came through and helped us out, and we're able to make that project a reality. And it's going to be a game changer, not just for us, but for soccer and for everybody. We're going to be able to practice up there and hold events up there year-round, and it's really going to athletics at MTCS. It's an exciting time.
It's just a major upgrade because when you think about, people don't always think about the turf field. They think, oh, well, natural grasses, but when you think about what it does, all those things you just mentioned, it really is a huge upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, a grass field can hold up for 20 to 30 events before it starts to deteriorate. And so you start looking at how many teams we've got playing on that field. Like we're way past 20 to 30 events. And so then you can't, if someone in the community wants to come in and needs a field and rent the field, and, it starts, you have to really decide, like, do we want anyone else on this field because it's already starting to go. Whereas once you have that turf field, now you can practice on it. Now you can have events on it. Now, you can do field rentals and you can do all those other things. And it just allows more people to experience MTCS. And, it's a game changer, and we're really excited about it.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned is practice, and people don't always understand. So now it doesn't matter what the weather is. You're always going to have a good surface to practice on.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, really, honestly, too, it's the constant lines. right? Like it's such an overlooked part of the game where, you know, our practice field, we'll go out, we'll paint it, we'll have all those things, but, you know, now it looks different on a practice field, right? Because we're kind of in between the football and the baseball field, so like you're not feeling like it's as big. Whereas like you get out on the game field, now you're practicing on it, like you just get used to the spacing and things like that, and it helps everybody. It helps you understand where you need to be on. You're able to go left hash, middle, right, you know, when you're running plays, and so it just really changes what you're able to do in practice.
Let's talk a little bit about the expectations that you have created at Middle Tennessee Christian School, state champs 2 years ago. Those expectations, what they have meant for your program coming into this football season, because obviously the bar is a whole lot higher.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be expectations at MTCS. There should think I don't ever want to work somewhere where there's not expectations, right? Like if everyone's cool just going 0-10, like that's not a job for me. And so I'm really proud of our kids. I thought we've had a really good offseason. You know, we're a year older. We were a lot of freshmen and sophomores last year playing a lot, and so now we're a bunch of sophomores and juniors, and you can definitely see that has paid dividends. And you know, I was surprised with how much they remembered when they got into the spring, and so we've been able to really kind of hit the ground running. And yeah, I'm excited to get started and get some games under our belt.
Those expectations, they also, winning breeds winning. The success that you've had attracts kids to want to come play at Middle Tennessee Christian School. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in this day and age, like you're always going to have kids that are looking around and that are looking to try and figure out what's the best academic place for them. And then, you know, I think once you get to two schools that are both academically well and they're doing a good job and they're doing all of those things, like now, like why I also like to play football, or I also like to play basketball, or I also like to play baseball, and you know, now we can look at those. And but yeah, I think it matters. I think having a strong sports program matters. Sometimes, you know, you go out and you win a game, you get put in the newspaper, maybe that's the first time someone's heard about that school, right? And now it's going to give us an opportunity when they come and tour to show them all the great things we can do, and our new robotics lab and all of those things, right? And yeah, I think it matters.
So let's talk a little bit about the football team. Offensively speaking, tell me a little bit about what you got going on offense as far as returning players and schemes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we return a bunch. You know, we've got Jackson Piercy at tight end. We've got Jacob Cruz, Eli Priestley at center. And we've got some new guys. We've got Knox Appleton, freshman football player at strong guard. We've got Jake Latimer at inside tackle, who has starting defensive end for us last year, and then Drew Prosser at outside tackle. At X, we're going to play a bunch of guys. Jack Thompson will probably be the star, but that's going to be a spot that we always have heavily rotate there. Are going to be Shy and Riley. Both of them are really good football players, and we're really excited about them. You know, at B-back, we'll have a couple different guys we rotate in. Golden and Shoe, both going to do a really good job for us. Then you get into the backfield, and you go our quarterback spot. You got Marlowe, who's a sophomore, and you've got Kingston, who's a freshman, who are both going to be big-time players. And so I think it helps having them both back there. They're able to push each other. And so, you know, when one's in versus when the other's in, you're going to kind of dip into a different bag, but they both are doing a really good job. You get to our running back spot, you got Ali, who ran for 1,000 last year. You've got Cooper Jones. You've got freshman Will Odom, who's kind of coming into his own there. And so, yeah, we're really excited about us up front and in the backfield.
Well, Coach, all these things you're mentioning, that tells you one thing: depth. You got options, which a lot of times at smaller schools you don't necessarily always have those. But it sounds like you've got some options.
For sure. Yeah, I think we're definitely just about too deep everywhere. You know, small school problems are too deep is the same too deep. You know, when you get over the defense, might be shuffled around. But you know, I do think we have our young guys are they didn't waste last year, right? Like the guys that were thrown into the fire, they didn't get down, they didn't get disappointed that they were getting beat. They just need to get better. Our up, and they were ready to push people and try and get in the game. And you know, the good thing about us this year is we're not forced to play a freshman who's not ready. So we've been able to let them learn and let them get some reps without putting them in bad spots. But I mean, we're fun. I'm excited. I think the games start, you guys will be able to see, you know, all their hard work that they've put in, and I'm excited.
So, Coach, let's talk a little bit about defense. I know that obviously a lot of the kids on offense are going to be some of the kids on defense too, but let's talk a little bit about defense, your schemes, what you're looking at to happen there.
Yeah, so a 4-3, 4-2-5, kind of however you want to slice it. You know, our interior bodies are going to rotate constantly, and so like I tell them all the time, plays really matter, right? Like, because you guys are also, some of you guys are playing offense too. So if we go offense first, like it might be a different two in there than in a depth chart. DN and Latimer. Linebacker wise, Eric Bowling will be our Mike, and the steps he's taken are unbelievable. You know, last year was his first year playing football since he was in like 6th grade. Didn't really know much about it. Just flew around, made tackles, ended up leading the team in tackles, and I don't really know if he knew what he was just out there trying to play hard. And this year he's able to get people lined up. He's getting another, and so I'm excited to see what he does this year. At will, you know, it's going to be basically our B rotations at will. It's Golden and Shu, and they're gonna, one of them's gonna play B, one of them's gonna play Will, and then maybe rotate it too as the game goes on, and just let them both play. Our Sam will be Cooper Jones, who's going to be a really good player. You know, he's gotten a lot bigger, and he's now a sophomore. He's going to be a good time player. Then we got Jack Thompson at a corner. You've got Shy Murphy at the other corner. And then you've got Ali at safety. You got Trey Ewell at safety. And then we've got a lot of those names we mentioned before, all kind of rotating in. Another guy that is working right now in that cornerback room is Knox Carden, who grew a lot in the offseason. And so, you know, he's learning what to do at corner. I think snaps for us that are meaningful at some point. And yeah, I'm excited about this group. They've all pushed each other, and they just continue to get better.
So, Coach, when you talk about freshness and keeping kids important, especially in the trenches, you feel like, because that's where you win and lose games a lot of times, in the trenches.
For sure. And you know, we brought in Coach D-Line, brought him over from Cascade, and you know, I think me and him have worked pretty well together at making sure that works, right? And I still coach the O-line. You know, that's my baby, and I don't know that I'll ever give it up. But you know, we were able to have that conversation. Like, here's what we can do. Here's how we can rotate some guys. Here's what we can look at, like, or that we don't get into the fourth quarter and one kid's played every single kids that can play standing on the sidelines, right? And so we're working it pretty well right now. I think our rotation's been good, and you know, it'll get tested this Friday to see how it goes. Bullets are, you know, I'm excited.
That rotation, that also keeps all the kids invested. When that's what you don't want a kid just to be standing on the sideline. You want everybody to be invested in the program. What's going on?
You know, this is the biggest roster we've had since I've been here. We're gonna have 38 on the roster.
All right.
So you know, 2 years ago when we won state, I think we had 31, and so it's a good problem to have, right? So we continue to get more and more kids out. We've got I want to say it's 61 kids 8th grade playing right now, and so you start projecting that out, like there's a chance that varsity roster sit at 61, and so you know, the growth has been fantastic. It starts with our youth coach job, you know, with retention, making sure the kids enjoy, and then obviously you want to win, right? Like they want to win. They're all competitive guys, and but they're doing it the right way, and they're making sure the kids are having. When we get them as freshmen, they know what they're doing. They understand what they're supposed to do. They're physical. They play hard, and again, they're making it to us, which I think is a testament to all of our youth guys and our.
Without question. So let's talk a little bit about the schedule. You mentioned this Friday night when the Bullets start flying for real. Who you open up with?
So we'll play Ezel Harding at home. Got our turf dedication at 7. Love to see everybody come out, and really it's a special night. We got family fun night before that, so bring out the little ones, come let them bounce around on the bounce. Should be a great night. Should be a lot of energy in the stadium and get rolling.
Ezel Harding, that's a school that has been football proud at times, and they kind of shrunk down to 8-man football, I think, and now they're back up to 11-man football. So the local school, excited to see that, because I know that we'll talk about the schedule, the rest of the schedule here in a minute, but excited to see a local school coming to town for the opener.
Yeah, and me and Corey are friends. Their head coach, he's done a really good job. They've gotten better every year. Almost year. They're always athletic. They can they will throw the football, and so it'll be a challenge, right? It'll be no cupcakes, right? Go out and roll the ball out and see what happens.
Coach schedule. I know there's been some changes because of some schools in football, so you've had schedule. You're going to be road warriors here. So I think you need big-time away games. Tell me a little bit about what you got on the schedule.
Yeah. Make sure you come out to our 4 home games and come see us play. Try to make these trips for our road games. I say that, but our MTCS community goes all over and they're fun. But, yeah, we're going to be going from Memphis and North Carolina for our road games. I think Chattanooga is our closest road game this year. And, it's going to be fun. We'll go see the state and go to a bunch of places. And so, I'm the 9th game. Losing 2. Couldn't find someone for week 3, but, we're able to get week 10 filled. And, if I had to pick one of those 2 open weeks to fill, it would have been week 10. And, but yeah, so Warriors will be hopping on charter buses and potentially staying in hotels and all the things.
Does that maybe add a little something that's challenging as a coach, but for the kids, don't you think that maybe creates a little bit of excitement for them because, hey, we're going to Memphis, or hey, we're going to Carolina, or whatever? You think that adds a little something?
I think yes and no. I think they enjoy riding the charter buses, right? Like they enjoy guesses, and now some of these trips are far. We'll see. I think for us, we had that Florida trip in 23, and so we're able to kind of lean on, what did we do? What was our schedule? And to mimic that as much as possible. Each trip is different, but try and mimic some of the things that we did in that trip. When we go to Johnson City and we go to some of those farther games where, we're going to have to make a decision on hotel or not, and, when do we get a charter bus available and all those things. But yeah, it's going to be fun, and, definitely looking forward to when we play at home so we don't have to hop on a bus and drive all over.
That's fun. That's kind of tongue-in-cheek because it just adds more because, managing a football program is huge as far as what it plate. But when you think about managing, so another kind of a monkey wrench that gets thrown in there, right?
Yeah, I will say Ed Watson kind of handles our travel plans, and he does a fantastic job. I joke with him all the time that he always is top notch and makes sure that we have all the things we need, anything ready to go, and makes my job a lot easier when it comes to these travel. And I would say too that our administration's been really supportive, right? Like it'd be really easy for our administration to get up and because we're gonna have to leave early, like we just are. In order to go, like, we've got to leave early. We're gonna miss some Fridays, and every meeting I've had with them was like, I understand that this wasn't this was some of those are region games.
Right.
Johnson City's a region game for them.
And that's crazy because Johnson City is a haul.
Yeah. And so, they've been really supportive. And, we've sat down, we've talked, we've looked at, like, when's the best time to leave and all. Again, I think it's a testament to who MTCS is. As, everyone's kind of in it together. And I want to see the kids be as successful as they can be. And so I think it's going to work out. I do. I think it's going to be okay. And, you can either complain about it or you can just get ready to go play football. At the end of at 7 or 7:30, whenever kickoff is for that game, football against somebody else, and let's go beat them.
There you go. Well, what happens if you don't find a game for? Because this late, what's the likelihood of you finding a game for week 3 and don't play?
Yeah, we'll just have a bye. We almost had week 3. Had talked to a couple people, but when there was multiple teams that tried, there's a couple of them that were closer together. We were kind of the odd man out. We were away from everybody else, and so we just weren't able to make it work. And Georgia and Alabama and Kentucky and Ohio, and I was looking all over. I stumbled upon the North Carolina game, and we were able to make that end. And so, definitely wanted to get as many games filled as possible for our seniors. You only get so many football games, and so you lose 2, 20%. That's a lot. And so I'm really glad we were able to get at least. In a perfect world, we would have gotten both filled. At least we were able to get one filled, and so we'll play the cards we were dealt. And put the ball down.
I think that's the only choice you got, Coach. We certainly appreciate your time. We wish everyone to get over there because I'm sure the facility is going to be fantastic. It's top notch. I know that's the only way you guys do things over there. Get over and see me, Coach. We appreciate your time and we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Go
All righty. Yeah, best of luck, Coach.
At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort at our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
And John Dingin's back with you here on Cougar Corner. I'm going to tell you about a few things that are happening on the campus of MTCS. On August 18th at 4:15, the MTCS cross-country team will participate in the MSCCA 2-mile. Friendship Christian and will play MTCS in volleyball on August 18th. That's JV Middle School. We've got volleyball on the 18th at 5:30. That'll be following the JV game. And let's see, MTCS volleyball varsity August 18th. That'll be at 5:45. So they're actually going to try to get in three things there. August 19th, volleyball will play BGA, and we've got girls soccer on the 19th at 7 o'clock against Franklin or FCA, Franklin Christian Academy. Golf team will get into action on August 21st at 4 o'clock against Central Magnet. August 21st at 4:30 p.m., MTCS volleyball will be taking on Mount Juliet Christian Academy. And August 21st at 5:30, volleyball again against Mount Juliet Christian Academy. And August 21st at 6 o'clock, it'll be soccer with Cannon County High School. August 27th at 7:30, the football team makes their first appearance of the year. It'll be against Ezel Harding. That starts at 7:30 now, game time for that one. August 23rd, volleyball will be participating in the Cougar Classic. August 26th at 1 o'clock, it's golf again. This time it's Webb and Franklin Christian. August 26th at 3:30, Coffee County Invitational. That'll be in cross country. August 26th, this is cross country again at 4 o'clock with Coffee County at the Coffee County Invitational. So that's kind of what's going on. The big game going to be on Friday night at 7:30 against Ezel Harding. The Cougars take on their first game of the year, and good luck to the Cougars. Want to thank Coach Peterson for being our guest today. He'll be back next week, and also want to thank all our coaches that appeared on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. I think that's going to round things out for us this Saturday morning, and don't forget to join us next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, and then followed by Cougar Corner. For John Dingens, Dalton Barrett, Danny Brewer, and Brian Barrett, this is John Dingens. So long, everybody.